Napoleon Hill's 90-day rule that changes everything. Most people waste 90 days scrolling, doubting, and procrastinating. But what if these next 90 days could completely change your life, your mindset, your habits, your income, and your identity? Napoleon Hill gave us the formula. All you have to do is follow it. Part 1, the power of 90 days, why it matters. If you want to change your life, you don't need 5 years. You don't even need 1 year. You need 90 days of focused, consistent effort. That's what Napoleon Hill implied, though he didn't assign an exact timeline when he emphasized the power of habit, definiteness of purpose, and daily discipline. The 90-day model is simply a container, but within that container, if you apply Hill's principles, you can completely reset your internal world and start generating external success. Hill often said, "You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul." And that mastery begins with how you spend your time. Time is either your greatest ally or your most subtle enemy, depending on your awareness and use of it. The idea of committing to something for 90 days forces you to make a psychological contract with yourself, a contract of urgency, clarity, and action. Why 90 days? Because 90 days is long enough to create significant change, but short enough to feel real and reachable. It overrides the brain's tendency to procrastinate. Long-term goals often feel abstract, but 90 days is now. It forces immediacy, it demands clarity, and it delivers feedback quickly enough for you to see progress and keep going. From a psychological standpoint, 90 days is a cycle of transformation. Research in behavioral science has shown that the brain begins to rewire itself around new habits after approximately 66 days. But full behavioral integration typically strengthens after 90. Hill may not have had neuroscience, but he understood this implicitly. That's why he insisted that desire, belief, and repeated suggestion would mold the subconscious into action. In modern terms, repetition over 90 days reshapes your neural pathways, aligns your emotions, and redefines your self-image. Let's link that with Hill's concept of autosuggestion, one of the most misunderstood and underestimated tools he wrote about. When you focus daily for 90 days on a singular goal, repeating it with belief and emotional intensity, you are training the subconscious to accept this goal as reality. Once your subconscious is convinced, your entire system, your thoughts, emotions, behaviors begin working in harmony to fulfill that expectation. This leads us to a key insight. Success is not just the result of what you do, it's the result of who you become. Over 90 days and your identity can shift. That's the hidden power behind a focused, time-bound mission. You don't just move closer to the goal, you move away from the old version of yourself. The lazy you, the distracted you, the fearful you. Through daily consistency, you start replacing that self-image with one of discipline, belief, and certainty. Hill's teachings are not about mere information, they are about application. He said, knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when, and if, it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. That's exactly what a 90-day challenge gives you: organization, direction, and intensity. Think of this as a psychological reset. Most people drift through life without direction. Their days blend into each other. Their goals are vague. Their discipline is weak. But if you take 90 days and operate like your life depends on it, because it does, you will develop the most powerful trait Hill championed: definiteness of purpose. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill told the story of Edwin C. Barnes, the man who decided he would become a business partner of Thomas Edison. Not a worker, not an employee, a partner. That level of clarity, not just wishing, but deciding, is what creates breakthroughs. Barnes didn't say, "I hope it happens someday." He burned the bridges and lived like he had no other option. Imagine what happens when you live like that for just 90 days. The average person underestimates what they can do in 90 days, not because they lack time, but because they lack clarity, belief, and structure. That's what Napoleon Hill tried to correct. His work was not a motivational speech, it was a blueprint. He laid out the laws of thought, emotion, and behavior that govern success. The problem? Most people rate it and nod. Few people apply it. The 90-day principle is your tool to apply it, not just understand it. Let's go deeper into the mental shift required. Most people operate with a scattered mind, jumping from idea to idea, project to project. They are easily distracted. Hill called this drifting a state where the mind is pulled by outer circumstances instead of inner intention. The 90-day framework breaks the pattern of drifting. It forces you to plant a flag in the ground and say, "This is what I'm doing. This is who I'm becoming, and nothing else matters." And once you set that intention, the law of cosmic habit force, another Hill concept, kicks in. According to Hill, once a thought is repeated with conviction and emotional intensity, the universe and your subconscious begin to support it with opportunities, insights, and unexpected coincidences. Whether you believe in metaphysics or neuroscience, the principle is identical. What you focus on expands. The 90-day system focuses your mental energy like a laser. Let's summarize the psychological impact of a 90-day focused commitment in the context of Hill's work. 1. It activates desire. You're not chasing 5 things. You're chasing one thing, and clarity sharpens craving. 2. It builds belief with each day of action. Your confidence grows. You become more certain that your goal is possible. 3. It installs persistence. When you wake up every day with a purpose, your resistance weakens. You stop negotiating with laziness. 4. It reshapes identity after 90 days. You're not the same person. You think, feel, and act differently. 5. It attracts opportunity. When you become intentional, life responds in kind. People, events, and insights seem to appear. Now imagine compounding that. What if you repeated this cycle 90 days after 90 days, each time leveling up your target, your skills, your mindset? This is what Napoleon Hill was truly pointing toward: a lifestyle of conscious, deliberate creation, not waiting for change, but becoming change. The truth is, most people overestimate what they can do in a day, but dramatically underestimate what they can do in 90 days. If you go all in emotionally, mentally, physically for the next 90 days, you won't just change your results, you'll change your identity, and that's where real transformation begins. Part 2. Clarify a definite chief aim, DCA. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and yet most people walk through life blindfolded, chasing vague desires, scattered goals, and fleeting motivations. Napoleon Hill warned of this exact pattern. His solution was clear and unshakable. Every successful person must have a definite chief aim, a goal so precise, so emotionally charged, and so obsessively pursued that it rewires the brain, reorders priorities, and realigns your entire identity. The definite chief aim. DCA is not just a goal, it is a personal mission statement. It's the outcome you want to dedicate your life to, or at least your next chapter. For this 90-day challenge, your DCA becomes your North Star. Everything else becomes secondary. You no longer wake up and wonder what to do, you know. You no longer have to rely on motivation, it's replaced by intention. Hill wrote, "There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. This is the spiritual engine behind success. Without definiteness, your energy is diluted. You might work hard, but you won't move in one direction long enough to break through resistance. You'll give up, get distracted, or settle for less." So how do you clarify your definite chief aim? It starts with radical honesty. What do you truly want, not what you think you should want, not what your family expects, not what society rewards, but what makes your blood move faster? What would you be willing to suffer for? What wakes you up with energy and purpose? Hill didn't advocate vague affirmations. He demanded emotional engagement. Your DCA must stir something inside you. Next comes precision. Hill was adamant your goal must be specific. Make it definite, he said. That means no more goals like I want to be successful or I want to make more money. How much money? By when? Doing what? Why? Your subconscious cannot act on ambiguity. It responds to clear instructions. So instead of saying, I want to be rich, say I will earn $50,000 in the next 90 days through high-value digital marketing services. That's definite. But it's not just the wording, it's the emotional fuel behind the words. Hill emphasized the need for a burning desire, not passive interest, not mild curiosity. A burning desire is the kind of goal that keeps you up at night and wakes you up early. That's the energy needed to stay the course for 90 days. Without it, you'll quit by day 14. Once your DCA is clear, you must write it down. Not once, not as a motivational gimmick, but daily. Hill instructed his readers to write their goal and read it twice a day, once in the morning and once before sleep. Why? Because repetition creates belief. Belief creates action. Action creates momentum. And momentum becomes your new identity. Let's break down Hill's 6-step formula for applying a definite chief aim. 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount or outcome you desire. No vague language. Precision is power. 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return. Nothing for nothing. What's your sacrifice? 3. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess it. 90 days is your deadline. 4. Create a definite plan and begin at once, whether you're ready or not. Don't wait for perfect conditions. 5. Write out a clear, concise statement of the above. 6. Read your statement aloud twice daily with feeling and belief. This is not a suggestion. This is the mechanical formula for aligning your conscious desire with your subconscious drive. It moves your goal from the realm of fantasy into the realm of inevitability if practiced with consistency and faith. But Hill went even further. He warned that without a DCA, people become drifters. They chase distractions. They react to life instead of creating it. He wrote in Outwitting the Devil that a drifter is someone with no definite major purpose, easily influenced, easily discouraged, and easily defeated. Does that sound like someone who will succeed in 90 days? Absolutely not. By contrast, a person with a definite chief aim becomes magnetic. They attract people, ideas, and opportunities that align with their goal. Hill called this the law of harmonious attraction, a force where your inner focus reshapes your outer world. Again, whether you see this as psychology or spirituality, it doesn't matter. The results are real. When your entire being is aligned around a singular purpose, the universe conspires to support you. There's another layer to this emotional leverage. If you want to stay focused for 90 days, your DCA needs to be tied to something bigger than ego. Money is fine. Status is fine. But beneath that, there must be a deeper reason: freedom, legacy, impact, purpose. When you find that reason, quitting becomes harder than pushing through. Hill understood this and encouraged readers to connect their aim with deep emotional significance. In his own life, his definite chief aim was to teach others the principles of success, something he devoted decades to, even when he was broke, sick, or rejected by publishers. That's the kind of fire you need. Not interest, not preference, obsession. Now here's the hard truth: most people skip this step. They rush into action with no aim. Then they wonder why their results are mediocre. Your time, energy, and attention are your most valuable resources. A DCA ensures you don't waste them. It brings order to chaos. It eliminates confusion. And it empowers you to say no to everything that doesn't move you closer to your aim. Here's a challenge you can apply right now. Take 10 minutes today. Write down your definite chief aim for the next 90 days. Make it specific, measurable, emotionally charged, and time-bound. Commit to reading it twice a day, every day, with full emotion and belief. Do that for 90 days and watch what happens. Because clarity isn't just a motivational buzzword, it's the first step in transformation. When you are clear, you become powerful. And when you are powerful, the world responds to you in kind. Part 3, burn the boats, kill all excuses. Once your definite chief aim is set, there's only one thing left to do: eliminate the possibility of retreat. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he said that success requires absolute commitment. If you give yourself an option to quit, you will. If you leave the back door open, your subconscious will slip through it the moment pressure hits. That's why for the next 90 days, you must burn the boats. The phrase comes from a legendary story. A commander arriving by sea told his troops to burn their ships so there could be no retreat, victory or death, forward or nothing. That's the mindset Hill wanted you to adopt when pursuing a major goal. No halfway, no safety net. You either achieve the goal or die trying, not physically, but psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, anything less, and you drift. Hill wrote, "A quitter never wins and a winner never quits." This isn't a motivational poster slogan. It's a declaration of mental warfare. If your goal is real, if your definite chief aim is burning in your mind, then excuses must die. Excuses are the language of a divided mind. And divided minds don't move mountains. Think about how most people approach goals. They say, "I'll try," or "I'll see how it goes," or "I'll give it a shot." That's not commitment. That's fear dressed in polite language. Hill called this hypnotic rhythm the subconscious pattern of indecision that keeps people in mediocrity. And the only way to break it is to go all in. So how do you actually burn the boats in your own life? First, declare your 90-day commitment publicly. Don't keep it in your journal. Tell someone who matters to you. Post it. Share it with your accountability partner. Why? Because public commitment creates internal leverage. You won't want to look weak. You won't want to break your word. That discomfort forces growth. Second, remove distractions and alternatives. Delete the apps. Say no to side projects. Block out time on your calendar. Burn the mental boats by designing your environment so that success becomes the path of least resistance. If your workspace, schedule, and energy are aligned with your goal, excuses lose oxygen. Third, create pain for failure. Yes, pain. Most people are motivated more by what they want to avoid than what they want to gain. Use that to your advantage. Hill talked about this in terms of fear. Fear is nothing more than a state of mind. You can rewire fear to serve you. Set consequences. Make a bet. Write a check to a cause you hate and give it to someone else to mail if you fail to act daily for 90 days. Now you're emotionally leveraged. Fourth, embrace discomfort. Most excuses are born from the fear of pain, mental, emotional, or physical. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is the signal that growth is happening. Hill often emphasized that adversity is the test of persistence. He said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. So stop avoiding it. Lean in. Use it." Here's a truth that most won't admit: your excuses are more comfortable than your dreams. That's why you stay where you are. It's not because you don't have the talent. It's because you haven't crossed the emotional threshold of total commitment. That threshold is the line between interest and obsession, between wishing and doing. Hill was brutally honest about this. He said that desire without persistence leads to disillusionment. It becomes frustration and then bitterness. How many people do you know who once had dreams but are now cynical and numb? They never burned the boats. They gave themselves backup plans. They flirted with their goal instead of marrying it. Here's the Napoleon Hill formula in action. You have a clear, definite chief aim. You make a 100% decision to pursue it for 90 days. No, maybe. No, we'll see. You eliminate all distractions and alternatives. You set up external pressure and internal clarity. And then you show up every single day, no matter what. It's not that complicated, but it's not easy either. Because burning the boats means killing the version of yourself that plays small. It means grieving the false safety of your comfort zone. It means accepting that the only way out is through. But here's the paradox: the moment you commit fully, when you burn the boats and kill every excuse, you gain more power than ever before. You stop hesitating. You stop doubting. Your energy consolidates. You move faster, think clearer, and act bolder. Why? Because indecision is exhausting, but clarity is electrifying. One of the most powerful lines from Think and Grow Rich is this: no one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Burning the boats is how you convert hope into belief. Hope says, maybe. Belief says, this is happening. So, as you enter the 90-day challenge, ask yourself this: what are the boats in your life? What distractions are giving you the illusion of safety? What backup plans are keeping you soft? What habits are feeding your excuses? Identify them, destroy them, and replace them with rituals of action, intensity, and resolve. Because when you leave yourself no way out, you force yourself to find the way forward. Part 4, Daily Autosuggestion and Visualization. You can have the clearest goal in the world, the strongest desire, and even the most detailed plan, but if your subconscious mind does not believe it's possible, you will sabotage yourself again and again. That's why Napoleon Hill placed autosuggestion at the core of his success philosophy. In fact, he declared it one of the 13 principles that separate the average from the extraordinary. Autosuggestion is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. It's how you reprogram your beliefs, your identity, and ultimately your behavior. Hill wrote, "Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature. In other words, what you say to yourself every single day becomes your reality." So what exactly is autosuggestion? It's the repeated, more emotional affirmation of your definite chief aim, spoken aloud, visualized in your mind, and felt in your body until your subconscious accepts it as truth. Once that belief is installed, you begin acting from it automatically. You don't have to force yourself to behave like a winner. You are one. Hill insisted that you read your written statement of your goal out loud, twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed. But this isn't a mindless repetition. It's not just words on a page. The power of autosuggestion comes from emotionally charging those words with feeling, certainty, and intensity. Hill emphasized this point repeatedly. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You can't just go through the motions. You must activate the emotional part of your brain. You must see it, feel it, believe it, live it before it becomes physical reality. Let's break it down into steps so you can apply this starting today. Step 1, write a personal autosuggestion statement. Use Hill's formula to write your own. It should include the exact outcome you desire, what you're willing to give in return. The deadline in this case, 90 days. A plan of action. A strong declaration of belief. Example: I will earn $25,000 within the next 90 days by providing premium online consulting services. I will devote 4 hours daily to high-impact client work and content creation. I believe I have the skill, discipline, and clarity to achieve this goal. I am already becoming the person who attracts this level of success. Step 2, read it aloud with emotion. Twice a day, every day without fail. Say it like your life depends on it, not quietly, not passively, with energy. Stand up, look in the mirror, speak it until your voice and body align with the words. This isn't about convincing the world, it's about convincing yourself. Step 3, visualize the outcome. Immediately after reading your statement, close your eyes and see it as real. Feel the emotion of already having it. What does your life look like with the goal accomplished? Where are you living? What are you wearing? Who is congratulating you? What do your bank account and inbox say? Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The visualization process is how you build the belief. Step 4, combine sensory detail with identity. As you visualize, involve all 5 senses. Sight, see the result clearly. Sound, hear the applause, the phone calls, the money coming in. Touch, feel the steering wheel of your new car, the handshake with a new client. Smell the scent of your new office, your favorite coffee as you work. Emotion, the pride, gratitude, and certainty of achievement. Then speak this phrase: I am the kind of person who creates this reality. Not I want to be, not I hope to become, but I am. This identity shift is the true purpose of autosuggestion. Why it works: science plus psychology. Modern neuroscience now backs what Hill knew instinctively. Neuroplasticity proves that repetition reshapes the brain. Reticular activating system RAS filters the world according to what you focus on. Emotional imprinting solidifies new beliefs when paired with strong feelings. When you do auto-suggestion and visualization daily, you are literally reprogramming your internal GPS. You start to notice new opportunities. You act differently in meetings. You carry yourself with more certainty. Others respond to you with more confidence. You make better decisions. And this creates a feedback loop. Thought, emotion, action, result, belief, stronger, thought. It all begins with what you tell yourself. Daily, with emotion, with repetition, for 90 days straight. Warning: don't skip or fake it. This is the part where most people get lazy. They do it for 3 days, then they forget, or they say the words flatly, without emotion. Or worse, they tell themselves it's nonsense. Hill was clear: doubt is the killer. The subconscious doesn't respond to what you hope for, it responds to what you believe. And if your voice or energy communicates doubt, the message is rejected. That's why you must act as if you already believe, until belief becomes automatic. This is the exact principle behind act as if. You train your subconscious by performing the belief before it's true, and then reality bends to match your inner certainty. Build a ritual around it. Make your autosuggestion and visualization practice a non-negotiable ritual. Pair it with your morning coffee. Do it in the shower. Make it part of your night routine. Set reminders if you must. Use alarms. Print your statement and tape it to your bathroom mirror. The goal is to flood your mind with your chief aim so thoroughly that it drowns out all doubt, distraction, and negativity. Over the course of 90 days, this simple habit will completely recode your mental software. You'll begin to think like a person who wins, even before you see any results. And once that identity takes root, results become inevitable. Napoleon Hill understood thoughts are causes, circumstances are effects. The world you live in begins in your mind. Change your mind and your world follows. Part 5, build an unshakable morning routine. The first hour of your day is not just another hour, it's the launch pad of your identity. How you start your morning defines how you think, how you feel, how you act, and ultimately, how you perform. That's why Napoleon Hill, and every peak performer who followed his philosophy, treated the morning as sacred. It is not a luxury, it's a non-negotiable ritual for success. Hill taught that the human mind is governed by habit and repetition. He believed in the principle of cosmic habit force, the idea that once a behavior is repeated with intention and belief, it becomes automatic. And once automatic, it shapes not just what you do, but who you are. So why does the morning matter so much? Because when you first wake up, your brain is in a highly suggestible alpha state. This is when your subconscious mind is most open to influence. If the first thing you do is check your phone, get overwhelmed, or consume chaos, you are unintentionally programming your mind to react instead of create. But if you use your mornings to install clarity, discipline, and direction, you're planting seeds that grow all day long. The key elements of a Napoleon Hill-inspired morning routine. 1. Wake up with intent, no negotiations. The moment your alarm goes off, your first decision is the most important one. Get up or give in. The snooze button seems harmless, but it's actually your first psychological test of the day. When you delay waking, you tell your subconscious that comfort is more valuable than commitment. Hill warned procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. Rising immediately is a symbol of mental strength. It signals to your inner world that you're in control. And when you control your first decision, you start the day with momentum. 2. Speak your definite chief aim out loud. This is where your 90-day mission gets activated. Every morning, before you interact with the outside world, you speak your written goal out loud with emotion, clarity, and belief. This isn't about motivation. It's about reprogramming your subconscious. Hill emphasized that repetition plus emotion equals transformation. When you state your goal daily, you create an inner contract. You remind yourself who you are, what you're doing, and why nothing else matters more than this mission. 3. Visualize your success as already real. After speaking your goal, close your eyes and see it happening. Visualize the outcome you've committed to achieving. Picture yourself living that life, signing the deals, celebrating the win, feeling the satisfaction. Visualization is not fantasy, it's neural training. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between vividly imagined success and real success. So when you visualize with emotional intensity, your brain starts building belief, and belief leads to behavior. Hill wrote, "The imagination is the workshop of the mind." This is your workshop. Use it every morning to rehearse victory. 4. Journal or write a morning declaration. Writing sharpens focus. It slows down your thoughts and gives structure to your intention. Take a few minutes to write something simple but powerful. You can journal about your intention for the day, your mindset, or write affirmations tied to your definite chief aim. Examples. Today I align everything I do with my 90-day goal. I act with certainty, even in uncertainty. I am becoming more disciplined, focused, and powerful every day. By writing, you're reinforcing thought patterns that serve you. You're not letting the world write your day, you're writing it yourself. 5. Move your body to prime your mind. Napoleon Hill may not have spoken much about fitness, but he deeply understood the link between physical energy and mental clarity. When you move your body, you activate blood flow, release endorphins, and elevate your emotional state. This isn't about aesthetics or bodybuilding. This is about creating vital energy that fuels performance. Whether it's stretching, a walk, push-ups, or a short workout movement becomes your momentum builder. And momentum, once created, becomes hard to stop. 6. Feed your mind with greatness. Hill insisted that success-conscious people feed their minds daily with positive, success-driven information. That includes biographies of those who achieved great things, passages from Think and Grow Rich, books on mindset, purpose, and wealth, podcasts or audiobooks aligned with your goal. When you start your day with mental nutrition, you train your brain to think abundantly, act decisively, and lead intentionally. This is the opposite of scrolling through negativity or reacting to emails first thing in the morning. Protect your mind like you protect your health. 7. Decide on your top 3 priorities. Before the day begins, make a conscious decision about your top 3 outcomes. Ask what actions today will move me closer to my 90-day goal. Then write them down. This keeps your brain goals centered and outcome-focused. It eliminates drift, distraction, and indecision. You become the kind of person Hill describes someone who acts with definiteness and never wastes time on what doesn't matter. Why this routine will reshape your life. A morning routine is not about checking off boxes. It's about becoming someone new, someone who wakes up each day and leads from within. In Hill's world, success was not about waiting for opportunities. It was about conditioning the mind to see and seize them. This is what your routine will do over the next 90 days. Build unstoppable self-confidence. Create alignment between thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Establish momentum before the world makes demands. Lock in the frequency of success before distractions arrive. Anchor your definite chief aim into your identity. Hill said, "What the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." The morning routine is how you train your mind to believe more often, more deeply, and more consistently until the results catch up with your mindset. Part 6, take daily action with persistence. Ideas are useless without action. Dreams are meaningless without discipline. This is the line in the sand where vision becomes movement, where belief becomes behavior, and where success begins to materialize. Napoleon Hill understood that all the mental mastery in the world means nothing without daily, relentless action. Hill didn't romanticize the idea of success. He didn't promise overnight transformation. What he offered was a hard truth. Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. In other words, you are only as strong as your ability to keep moving forward, especially when motivation is gone, when resistance kicks in, when no one is watching, and when results are delayed. Why daily action matters more than occasional hustle. Most people live in cycles of intense activity followed by burnout and inaction. They work hard for 3 days, then disappear for 5. But success doesn't reward intensity, it rewards consistency. Hill made this crystal clear. He wrote, "Success requires no apologies. Failure permits no alibis." And failure often comes not from lack of talent, but from lack of sustained motion. Daily action does more than just move the needle on your goal. It reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Every day you show up, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those votes stack up. They become momentum, and momentum is the silent engine of achievement. What daily action looks like in practice. Hill was very specific about this action must be tied directly to your definite chief aim. That means not just being busy, but being deliberate. Every day you should ask, what is one meaningful step I can take today that brings me closer to my 90-day goal? Maybe it's sending a sales email, publishing a piece of content, making a cold call, learning a specific skill. Whatever it is, it must be forward-facing, not research, not planning, doing. Here's what this daily rhythm could look like. Review your chief aim each morning. Identify one high-leverage task that supports it. Block time to do it, protect that time, like your life depends on it. Track whether you completed it. Reflect briefly at night. Did I get closer or farther from my goal today? This simple system, repeated for 90 days, becomes a compound force of unstoppable progress. Why most people quit and why you won't. Let's be honest, daily action is not glamorous. It's repetitive. It's tiring. It can feel boring. That's why most people give up. They start with passion, but once discomfort arrives, they disappear. Hill anticipated this. In Think and Grow Rich, he shared that most people quit right before success appears. He told the story of Darby, who stopped digging for gold 3 feet from the vein, only for someone else to pick up the tools and strike it rich. The moral: you never know how close you are unless you persist. Most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Napoleon Hill. Persistence, then, is not optional. It is the secret ingredient. It is what separates dreamers from doers and dabblers from dominators. It's what transforms your 90-day mission from maybe to inevitable. How to build relentless persistence. If you want to take daily action without giving up, you need systems that support your willpower, because discipline without structure is fragile. Here's how to build persistence like a pro. 1. Create a no-matter-what daily rule. Choose a single non-negotiable action that you complete every day, no matter what. This could be one sales call, one video published, one cold outreach. The key is not intensity, but consistency under all conditions: tired, busy, uninspired, whatever. That's how persistence is trained. 2. Track your streak. Use a simple notebook, habit app, or wall calendar. Put an X on each day you complete your daily task. After a few days, you won't want to break the streak. The visual proof becomes a source of pride and pressure in a good way. 3. Use environment as leverage. Set up your physical and digital environment to make action easier. If you write, have your writing tools open when you wake up. If you sell, have your CRM ready to go. Make it harder to avoid the work than to just do it. 4. Reconnect with your why. When discipline fades, emotion must take over. Reread your chief aim with passion. Visualize your future. Remind yourself this goal is worth discomfort. Without emotional connection, logic will fail you. Expect resistance and act anyway. Hill warned that fear, doubt, and laziness are mental enemies that show up precisely when you're close to a breakthrough. Don't take resistance as a signal to stop. Take it as a signal that you're on the right track. Action is the cure for fear, doubt, and overthinking. One of Hill's most important discoveries was this: action kills fear. When you move, you stop thinking about your limits and start proving what's possible. When you act, your brain rewires itself around boldness. But when you hesitate, your doubts multiply. That's why even a small action, done daily, is more powerful than waiting for a big one. Hill believed that the mind grows stronger with every act of courage, no matter how minor it seems. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand. Napoleon Hill. You don't need to feel ready. You need to start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can today and tomorrow and the next day for 90 days. Because at the end of this journey, your life won't be transformed by what you knew or even by what you planned. It will be transformed by what you did consistently, deliberately, and without excuse. Part 7: Mastermind. Find your accountability circle. You are never truly going it alone, not if you want to win. That's one of the greatest truths Napoleon Hill uncovered during his 25-year study of the world's most successful people. Behind every extraordinary individual was a network of support, strategy, and accountability, what he called the mastermind group. This isn't just a motivational buzzword. It's one of Hill's core principles. In fact, he considered it so powerful that he placed it among the foundational 13 laws of success. He wrote, "No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind." In simple terms, a mastermind is a small group of people aligned around a common purpose, committed to supporting each other's growth, holding one another accountable, and combining their minds to create a third, more powerful collective intelligence. During your 90-day journey, building or joining a mastermind isn't optional, it's essential. Because you will get tired, you will doubt, you will want to quit. And when that happens, the people around you determine whether you rise or collapse. Why you need a mastermind during the next 90 days. When you commit to a powerful goal, you need more than personal willpower, you need external reinforcement. Hill believed the mind is like a battery, and it can become drained. The mastermind is how you recharge, expand your ideas, and keep your fire lit when the world tries to extinguish it. Here's what a true mastermind does. Holds you accountable to your stated goal, challenges you when your standards drop, offers insight, experience, and strategy, reminds you of your why when you forget it, celebrates your wins and pushes through your failures, creates peer pressure in the right direction. Hill said, "A friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage one to follow through with both plan and purpose." That's what you need right now, encouragement plus accountability. How to create your mastermind circle. You don't need a large group. In fact, 2 to 5 people is ideal. The key isn't volume, it's alignment, trust, and commitment. Here's how to build it. 1. Choose people with similar ambition levels. It's not about personality, it's about standards. Choose people who are also on a mission, people who won't tolerate mediocrity in themselves or in you. These individuals can be friends, colleagues, online peers, or mentors. What matters is that they want it just as badly as you do. 2. Set a consistent meeting schedule. Hill's research showed that regular contact multiplies focus. Whether it's weekly Zoom calls, bi-weekly check-ins, or daily texts, set the rhythm and stick to it. Success doesn't come from spontaneous motivation. It comes from consistent engagement. 3. Make it about goals, not gossip. Every session should include A review of what you committed to last time. A clear declaration of what you'll do next. An honest discussion of wins, failures, and lessons. Brainstorming support, insights, or direct feedback. This is not a therapy circle. This is a results room. Treat it that way. 4. Building consequences and commitments. If someone doesn't follow through, what happens? Create micro-stakes, small financial penalties, public declarations, friendly challenges. When there's something to lose, people show up differently. Hill understood that accountability isn't just about encouragement, it's also about pressure. Why this works: psychological power of collective energy. There's a hidden reason the mastermind works, and it has nothing to do with motivation. It works because of identity reinforcement. When you surround yourself with people acting on a higher level, your mind adapts. It doesn't want to be the weakling. It doesn't want to fall behind, so it rises. Psychologists call this social referencing, the human tendency to take behavioral cues from others in their peer group. Hill discovered this long before it was a research topic. He observed that high achievers almost always associated with other high achievers. Your standards are either lifted by your circle or slowly lowered by it. In the words of Jim Rohn, a later thinker influenced by Hill, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now apply that to your 90-day challenge. If you're surrounded by excuse makers, you'll adopt their limits. If you're surrounded by action takers, you'll absorb their drive. Warning: avoid the wrong mastermind. Not all groups are created equal. Hill warned that every mind is either magnetized with positive or negative energy. If you join a group where the conversation is negative, unfocused, or rooted in fear, you're better off alone. That's not a mastermind. That's a mental anchor. Protect your circle fiercely. Look for energy, execution, integrity, and intensity, nothing less. The mastermind effect: 90 days of shared momentum. Once your mastermind is activated, you'll notice a dramatic shift. You won't want to miss your targets. You'll think bigger and act bolder. You'll gain insights that would have taken months to figure out alone. You'll feel emotionally supported during low points. You'll celebrate wins that feel 10x more satisfying because they're shared. It's no longer just about you, it's about all of you rising together. Napoleon Hill believed that when 2 or more minds come together in harmony, a third invisible force has created a mastermind that leads to superhuman clarity, courage, and action. This is not mystical, it's psychological, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can wield in the next 90 days. If you're serious about transformation, don't try to do this alone. Build your tribe, sharpen each other, push one another, and remind each other daily. We are not here to survive. We are here to lead, build, and succeed. Part 8, track progress and adjust course weekly. Napoleon Hill taught that success is never an accident. It is a result of clear direction, definite plans, and constant correction. The path to your 90-day goal will not be a straight line. It will twist, curve, stall, and sometimes even reverse. But what separates winners from wanderers is their ability to review, reflect, and realign consistently and intentionally. Hill put it plainly. Every successful person finds it necessary to follow definite plans and to adjust those plans as circumstances indicate. Well, what does that mean for you? It means that once a week, no exceptions, you sit down and conduct a brutally honest audit of your progress. This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about becoming precise. Vague intentions create vague results, but measured effort creates momentum, mastery, and course correction. Why weekly tracking works: psychology of feedback loops. The mind needs feedback to grow. When you don't measure your progress, you start to operate on assumptions, not truth. You think you're doing well. You hope you're on track, but you don't know. And without data, mental, emotional, and practical, your decisions become reactive rather than strategic. Hill emphasized that a definite chief aim must be pursued through organized plans and definite, consistent action. But he also warned plans must remain flexible. Feedback reveals where you're aligned and where you're drifting. This is what most people miss. The goal is fixed, but the plan is fluid. You don't change the target. You change the method, the mindset, or the pace based on real results. How to run your weekly review, Napoleon Hill style. Set a specific day and time each week and protect it. This is your CEO meeting with yourself. Treat it with seriousness and structure. Here's a process you can use every 7 days. 1. Review your definite chief aim. Start by rereading your goal aloud. Reconnect with the emotional energy behind it. Remind yourself of why you're doing this. This recenters your attention before diving into the numbers. 2. Ask the 3 critical questions. What worked? Etimeston. Identify what actions moved the needle this week. Double down on those. What didn't work? Be honest. What behaviors, distractions, or decisions hurt your momentum? What will I adjust? This is where most growth happens. You don't repeat mistakes, you correct them. Hill wrote, failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one when success is almost within reach. Failing to adjust is what allows failure to sneak in. But if you're learning weekly, you're becoming anti-fragile, you grow stronger under pressure. 3. Track the key metrics. Depending on your 90-day goal, track measurable results. If it's financial revenue generated, leads contacted, conversions. If it's creative words written, videos produced, pieces published. If it's behavioral daily habits completed, hours of focused work, routines kept. Keep a simple tracker. What gets measured gets managed. What gets managed improves. What improves consistently becomes mastery. Chapter 1 in 4. Rate your consistency. Use a 1-10 scale to rate your consistency in taking daily action, sticking to your morning routine, reading and reciting your chief aim, staying emotionally connected to your vision, engaging with your mastermind or accountability partner. Low consistency isn't a failure, it's a signal. It tells you where to focus your energy next week. 5. Identify your one shift for the week ahead. Based on your review, choose one specific adjustment you'll make. This might be waking up 30 minutes earlier, cutting a distraction, saying no to low-impact tasks, increasing outreach volume, delegating something that drains your focus. One shift per week for 13 weeks. That's 13 compounded upgrades. Small hinges swing big doors. Why most people avoid this and why you can't. The average person avoids self-review because it's uncomfortable. It forces them to face reality. But Hill taught that discomfort is not the enemy, ignorance is. You are where you are because of your dominant thoughts and decisions. Tracking your progress makes those thoughts and decisions visible. It gives you the data needed to redirect your energy before a small mistake becomes a major detour. Without review, you drift. With review, you adapt. And adaptation is the hallmark of every great success story Hill ever studied. Bonus: create a 90-day progress map. Each week, write one sentence that summarizes your biggest insight. At the end of the 90 days, you'll have a 13-line journal of growth, adjustments, and wins. This becomes more than just tracking, it becomes a story of personal evolution. You'll look back and realize, Week 3 taught you how to handle setbacks. Week 6 revealed your mental blind spots. Week 9 proved you're more capable than you thought. This is what the journey is for not just achievement, but awareness. Final reminder: adjust the plan, not the goal. Let's be clear, tracking isn't about shrinking your target. It's about getting better at hitting it. Hill warned against watering down your vision to match your performance. Instead, upgrade your performance to match your vision. So every week, remember, the dream stays the same. The strategy improves. The standards rise. Track, reflect, adjust, repeat. That's how you don't just chase success, you engineer it. Part 9. Transform identity, become the person who succeeds. Napoleon Hill didn't just teach people how to get success, he taught them how to become success. After 90 days of focus, discipline, visualization, action, and reflection, the most powerful change isn't in your bank account, your resume, or your calendar. The most powerful change is in who you now believe you are. Because everything in your life, your habits, your relationships, your income, your impact is a reflection of your identity. Hill understood this long before modern psychology gave it language. He knew that when a person shifts their internal self-image, the outer world conforms. He wrote, "You will attract to you whatever is in harmony with your dominant thoughts." But thoughts are not just surface-level ideas. They are rooted in how you see yourself. If you still identify as inconsistent, unworthy, uncertain, or undisciplined, your subconscious will work hard to maintain that reality, even if you try to change it. That's why the real goal of the 90-day process isn't just achievement, it's identity evolution. Who were you before this process? Think back to day one. Who were you? Did you hesitate before taking action? Did you negotiate with discipline? Did you need motivation to move? Did you let your environment dictate your energy? Did you live by reaction, not creation? You weren't weak. You weren't lazy, but you were likely conditioned by past failures, by unconscious beliefs, by external noise. Hill knew that conditioning can be reprogrammed, but only through repeated intention. Now, after 90 days, something is different. You've shown up daily. You've spoken your goal out loud. You've trained your mind to believe. You've taken consistent action. You've tracked, adjusted, and held yourself accountable. And without realizing it, you've become a different version of yourself. This is the ultimate outcome identity alignment. The new you thinks differently. Here's what starts to shift when identity catches up with intention. You don't ask, "Can I do this?" You say, "This is what I do." You don't rely on motivation, you operate from commitment. You don't fear failure, you extract lessons from it. You don't need permission, you give yourself authority. You don't chase success, you embody it. And that's the secret. Success is not something you achieve, it's someone you become. This is why so many people set goals but never follow through. They try to act like a successful person without first becoming one inside. They copy behavior but never upgrade their self-image. Hill's process solves this by using repetition, focus, and belief to forge a new identity. The I am shift. Hill's hidden code. One of the most powerful undercurrents in Hill's work was the use of I am statements, the root of identity change. I am a person of persistence. I am someone who finishes what I start. I am a creator of wealth, not a chaser of it. I am disciplined, focused, and clear. I am success conscious. These are not affirmations, they are declarations. And when spoken daily over 90 days, they stop being wishful and start becoming factual. Hill would say, speak them until your mind believes them, until your behavior confirms them, and until your world reflects them. Reinforcement versus regression, the post-90-day fork in the road. At the end of 90 days, you face a choice. Either 1. Reinforce the new identity, build on it, set a higher goal, and ascend again. Or to slip back into the old self, the one who hesitated, delayed, and compromised. There is no pause in identity. You're either strengthening it or weakening it, Hill warned. There is no standing still. You are either moving forward or backward. That's why the 90-day process is repeatable. Not because you failed, but because you're ready for the next version of yourself. The version with bigger vision, greater responsibility, and more influence. From goal setter to identity shaper. Once you've gone through this journey, you realize something profound. You don't set goals to get things. You set goals to become someone. You didn't just earn more, you became a creator of value. You didn't just finish a project, you became someone who finishes. You didn't just follow a routine, you became someone with mastery over time. This is the true essence of Hill's work. His books were never about just making money. They were about building men and women of character, purpose, and spiritual force, people who command reality through vision and belief. Final insight: you're not going back. Once your identity shifts, going back is no longer comfortable. You no longer fit into the habits, conversations, or beliefs that kept you small. You're not better than anyone, but you're better than who you used to be. You've earned the right to walk differently, to speak more confidently, to act more decisively, to dream more boldly, to live more fully. As Hill would say, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, provided you are ready. Now, after 90 days, you are ready. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've become the kind of person who finishes what they start. And that person is unshakable. If you're ready to stop drifting and start living with intention, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs this 90-day wake-up call. Remember, you don't need more time, you just need more direction. Make the next 90 days count.